Hello, people of Earth. I'm Sage Ryan Cash, and this is another episode of the TheViolentSneeze podcast. Yay! We're back. No, it's been a while. We've had some technical difficulties and some life events have occurred because life does exist beyond the internet. Anyways, here's a great conversation with my friend Evan and my friend Sam. Hope you enjoy. This is part one of it. There will be part two coming later. Some heavy topics, but Violent Sneeze. We're not afraid of anything, right? Damn right.
Well, shit, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, bro. Hey, cheers.
Yeah,
cheers to all you.
hey.
Cheers to all you.
Oop, I'm sorry I spilled.
I'm glad everybody's connected, man. I fucking love this shit. You know what I mean? Good people need to be around each other.
Yeah.
And as you get older, it's hard to find. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's harder to find people, period.
Yeah. It's hard to find people. Why is that, dude?
Your circle gets, I think, smaller. You know, when you're in school and shit, it's a lot easier. You're always around your friends. You're always around people. Even when you have a job, you make friends at your job, but you still have all your school friends.
Yeah.
But then when you move on to like adult life, your circle gets smaller and smaller because people move away. People get into careers, go to schools and stuff. So then you're stuck at a job, and that's really the only place you make your friends.
Well, because you see them on a daily basis.
Right, and that's the only people you really interact with. Because think about it, unless you're just going to new bars or somewhere like that, you're not interacting with regular people. You got your family, whatever your family is.
Bar friends are kind of another thing. Like
Exactly.
people you meet in bars.
Yeah, people in the category of friends.
Right, yeah.
That's
It's like we all have an index in our mind.
Because I was tripping on the thought of like, did you grow up in a small town?
I've lived in small towns, so I know what it's like.
Okay.
But
Did you go to the same school for the majority of your life?
No, I grew up with a lot of kids all the way through elementary school and into middle school. So
okay, so but I guess what I was tripping on is like, because we grew up in PG, so it was like a very small town.
Yeah.
We know everybody from early on, and you know when you're in elementary school, everybody's kind of friends. There's not really any cliques or anything.
Yeah.
You may not hang out with certain people, but there's never like a thing. If you see them, you're like, hey,
Right.
you know, like hi. And then when is that point of like life where you just choose to not say hi to these people?
Yeah, right.
For whatever reason. Like when does Becky come in? All of a sudden she doesn't like say hi to me. Like when did that? For what? What you know? Like
what did you do?
Yeah. Like where? That's my question is where does that and why does that happen? You know, when you get to a point, because I do it too now.
Yeah, everybody.
Where I'll see somebody that I've known all my life, but I guess we look at each other. But I've even like looked at somebody that I've known all my life, and they've just like completely like, and I know they consciously thought about it and turned.
Yeah.
I'm like,
why don't you want to talk to me?
I'm not gonna fucking come over and like be like, hey, how's it going, Bob? Like whatever.
I guess after a while, especially living in a small town, it's like after a while you just start to realize like, who the fuck cares if I'm like, hey, look, I know that person. Because I mean, like, what, you're gonna say hi and then go back to your lives. I think a lot of times
it's more the fear of the small talk, I guess.
Or it's just like you suddenly realize, I don't really have anything in common with this person other than the fact I like went to school with them.
Right.
But my point is that it's still something, right?
Exactly.
It's still enough to be like, you know.
Yeah. I feel like like, and I always acknowledge people. That
I try to too. You know.
I mean, like unless there's someone I don't like, and I'm just like, fuck you.
No, then I avoid at all costs. I'm one of those. If I see him, I'm making the whole family turn around and go around this part of the store. You know what I'm saying? Like,
fuck that. Don't need this drum. No,
it's just weird to me, like, you know, the fact that like we get, like we're, you know, it trips me out because I watch, you know, my son and he's just so young and so innocent that like he just doesn't. He says hi to everybody if they say hi to him, you know, and like there's no conscious thing of like. I guess it is though the fear of small talk. Yeah. Right? Because like I hate that too. Part of the reason why I don't leave my house quite too often, you know.
Right.
But it's just because I don't know why I don't like it. I guess I have a problem with feeling like fake. So if like I'm not feeling like completely like everything is good in my life, and then somebody says how are you, and the generic answer is to be like good.
Yeah.
But that is so like distasteful for me to say because like I'm just like. I don't really feel good, but you don't want to know that.
Yeah.
So like, just don't ask me.
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing is like, you see people where you're like, hey, I went to school with you, and that's worth a hey, but it's like, they don't want to hear about your life. Like, you don't really want to hear about their life.
No, they don't really care.
You know,
we got Facebook for that.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of people, you know, as they get older, like, you know, as some people, like, they get married and have kids, and they are still very social. Yeah. But some people, like, you know, when they get married and have kids, like, they really, like, go head first
Yeah,
into
they
the
settle
family.
down. They're not really
They're
a
just-
part of the community.
They forget about everybody
They
else.
kind of just like insulate themselves in the family. They're like, I've got my
Mhm.
3 kids and my husband.
Leave me and mine alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some people get really into the family thing, and they're like, hey, I was headed for it for a while. Like
Yeah.
they were trying to do that.
Oh, yeah.
They were
No,
trying-
we've all been there.
They were
Yeah.
trying
We've
to
all
do
been
that.
there. He's a family man himself. You know,
Yeah.
we've all been there.
Yeah.
And like I said, like sometimes like you get married and have a kid, and you're still talking to your friends, like my.
I mean, well, that's
Yeah.
for me. That's the ideal
Yeah.
dream. That's the ideal. Like my dream in life. We're talking about necessarily about the goal of happiness and stuff. So my
Exactly.
idea of happiness is me on big enough property somewhere, maybe Montana or even fucking like Ireland, the hills
Yeah.
of Ireland or some shit. Just somewhere where there's like greenery. I'm a mountain guy, so I like the mountain. I like the fucking tree vibes. Just enough property where I have all of my close friends on that same property.
Yeah.
But we live far
Yeah.
enough to where we're not bothering each
Right.
other.
Death Cat
But
City.
why the fuck is that such a...
For sure.
So, dude,
not
this
bad
brings me
idea.
to a whole bigger fucking thing where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, why the fuck do we have to... Okay, we have to, like you were saying, there's those people that meet their wife, you know, have a kid, this and that, and they close themselves off.
Just
They don't-
insulate, yeah.
Even their best friends don't see them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, my whole life being in relationships, I won't even date a girl if she's not cool with any of my friends.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you don't like him? There
Yeah.
must be a reason. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? If I like him so much and you don't like him, there must be a severe reason, you
Yeah.
know, that's
Yeah.
the case.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I love you, or at least I think I do, but I also love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
And
like...
I know I love him because we've been friends for years.
Exactly. So
Exactly.
it's like, there must be something out there. So me, I need to have the connection between everybody.
And friends are a good bullshit emitter too.
Yeah.
Friends
Yeah.
and your brothers and your
Yeah.
sisters.
They'll tell it like it is.
They'll tell
Rose
what's
before
up.
hose, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
you're always that way. That's where it comes from. You know?
So what is the fucking... I'm like starting to like think of the answer now. I'm thinking, I guess maybe it's those fucking people that like don't really like friends to begin with, because there are those people, right? That,
Yeah,
like,
they
fucking-
just use them. Kind
But
of.
do you guys disagree or agree that it's like kind of it's like that sort of is the idea of what you're supposed to do in a way?
I think maybe at some point in time it was that
Like
way.
a mass idea. I'm not saying like maybe like our personal family life that
Yeah.
told us that, but like it's like a general idea to do that kind of
Well,
thing.
yeah. Well, look at like the 1950s culture and stuff like that.
Exactly.
It was you get married, you have kids, you buy a house, and you're best friends with your neighbors.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's your only
Exactly.
interaction with social interaction
Yeah.
anymore is your neighbors and the people that live around you. And they cut themselves off to everybody they knew before. You know, they'll bring in another character. Oh, we went to high school together. Oh. You know, it's like a plot point, but. For some odd reason, culture was that way back then, to where you kind of close yourself off to focus on your family and just put everything you have into that and forget everything else because it never really mattered in the first place, which I happen to disagree with. I think
Yeah.
friends are some of the most important things you could ever do with your life.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, they're the people you've chosen and went through. You know, you meet hundreds of people, thousands of people in your lifetime,
Yeah.
and these are the people you've chosen. And hey, for some odd reason, we connect. We're on
I'm
the same
spending
vibe.
my time
Yeah.
with this person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're experiencing reality right now together in this
Collectively.
timeline, you know, collectively, and we've chosen this, but all of us to do it together, and it's
Yeah.
amazing, dude. That's so awesome.
It's such a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's especially when everybody's getting along too.
Yeah.
Where it's not like you don't have one or two people like
hate each other, yeah.
Yeah, like there's no nothing.
Yeah,
It's
no
just
animosity,
pure, like
just-
just
mhm.
fucking
Well,
good vibes.
See, I think what you're talking about is just kind of the natural way in which people would kind of like to herd.
Yeah,
And I feel like what you're describing, the 1950s thing, is kind of how like society tells you you're supposed to herd.
right, exactly.
Like, I think
that
well,
could be part of the difference.
Yeah, because tribally people would get together with the groups and they would all live together. You know, they had a hand in raising all the children and everything, and you know, they married each other's daughters
Bro.
and sons.
That's an epiphany right
Yeah.
there. We just had another one.
Oh
We always have epiphanies on the show. I might
We
fucking
do.
change the goddamn show name to Epiphanies.
Epiphanies.
That's a good one, man. Because
The
I'll tell you what,
uneducated
that
epiphany.
fucking. You know what? Because like I got a part of Native American blood in me, you know. So I'm always a person to like, kind of. I believe that the way that they're in tune with nature and the way that they read signs of the universe and like kind of just see things and appreciate things and know about the herbs and this and that, and live off the land purely and just know how it speaks, you know. I think that we've lost touch of that,
Right.
like severely, to the point where like, fuck, man, I'm out of Wi-Fi for an hour and a half. I'm fucking bouncing off the wall.
Yeah,
I'm
you just-
freaking out.
You don't know what the fuck is going on.
And it's a beautiful day outside.
yeah.
But no, we need to call because it's almost 5 o'clock and they're gonna fucking win and like, you know what I mean? Like it happened today.
Yeah.
And you know, but it's such a trip that like fucking we need that now. You know, it goes to that fucking. It's just the system, man. It's the evil plan. It's the fucking evil plan, dude. Because fucking. What's the president that has the famous fucking speech where he talks about the military and complex, industrial complex?
Yeah.
Ooh, was that Wilson or was it
Eisenhower?
No, I think it might have been Eisenhower. Yeah.
Eisenhower.
I want to say it is. Please
I
forgive
know. I
us
think
if
it
it's
was
wrong.
Eisenhower.
But
I'm gonna bank on Eisenhower.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it was Eisenhower.
But he had explained that.
Yeah.
Be aware of the military-industrial
And
complex.
how they're gonna do it is they're
Yeah.
gonna get everybody to be a consumer and shit. And look at us now. And look at the idea in the 50s.
Use fear to control us. Too.
And look at the idea in the 50s. They actually had it. They had it. They were like, yes, we got them. Like, yeah, fucking buy this car. Fucking buy this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we had them at that point. And then we all started to experiment with fucking drugs.
Yeah.
And open our minds and stuff.
Well, drugs were rediscovered in the 60s, you know.
Yeah.
They were always there, but our that period of time between like the 20s and the 50s was kind of a dark area for, you know, psychedelics and things like that. That's why we kind of became so structured, I think. You know, people all worked for the one thing, you know, the machine.
Yeah.
I mean, weed was considered outrageous.
Yeah, like that was only killers of race.
Reefer.
Yeah, reefer madness.
I'm not it. Oh God.
That's like, you know, being a millennial.
I mean, they just got booze back in the 30s.
Yeah.
God, could you imagine?
No.
Can you fucking for a second imagine?
I would have had a heart attack watching them break open the kegs on the street and just pour beer down the fucking drains.
I called you back. I was like, wait, can you get some beer? Oh, I'm already on my way.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking.
I'm stopping right now to get a 12-pack. Don't worry, buddy. We're good.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's just the,
Yeah.
man. But no, so I think it's the systems thing. I think back to the root of everything. Like just the way I think, okay, so my ideal happiness, living in enough property where I can have all the close people there too.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
No,
That's
there's nothing wrong with
fucking
that.
beautiful because again,
It's human nature.
and again, it's not. Is it human nature? Because
I think it is.
nowadays it almost seems like human nature has gone more the route of like, no, we need structure, we need buildings, we need this infrastructure of economy. And
I don't
this
think
and that.
I don't think we naturally feel that way. I think we're told to
heart
feel
maybe?
that
Right,
way.
right, yeah.
If you have maybe a good family,
I think your
instill that-
brain develops that way.
Here's a thought.
And I
if
think-
if you believe in love.
Ooh.
If you believe in love, and if you've been taught enough to believe in love and this idea of like the meaning of relationships.
I think it's easier to grasp if you do hallucinogens.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody take acid.
Yeah.
Do
Try
it.
acid at least once in your life, please.
Acid,
Responsibly.
shrooms,
Responsibly.
anything.
Only with people that you
Cheers
love.
on that one, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Have a good trip, not a bad one. But bad ones are good sometimes too.
Tell you
Open
about
up
yourself.
your But no, so what, like my idea of happiness is that, dude. And because again, right? If I know you enough to want to do that with you, then we probably have a similar idea of what we want
similar
to end up.
goals. Yeah.
So why don't we all just fucking get a big ass ranch in Montana and fucking hang out and shoot our guns outside and play our guitars and fucking chew tobacco, whatever.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Whatever. Like I want to be like that's the thing.
I'm gonna, hey, you got that hip ready, buddy? I need to make
You know
this
what
some
I'm
paper, man.
You know, but even just selfishly, even if I can have that with my friends, I still want a ranch.
Exactly.
I want to be able to open my door and be like, oh yeah, just
Yeah.
fucking like yell naked,
Yeah.
like, and nobody's fucking.
Oh yeah.
God.
No indecent exposure called, you know.
Have you guys ever got that feeling of like yelling so loud that like nobody's gonna hear you, nobody's gonna think that you're a weirdo or anything?
Yeah.
It's a fucking fantastic.
It's
feeling.
amazing. It's
a
the greatest feeling in the
fantastic-
world.
Oh my
honestly.
god.
To be that out of touch with society and know that it's just you.
And you just
every-
howling at
yeah.
the moon with your fucking brothers.
It's the way it feels, you know. You're like,
That's
it
freedom.
feels primitive.
It
You know, it
does.
feels like
It
it's
does.
awakening something
It's a
inside of
calm
you. You
feeling.
know.
Oh.
Like,
Well, and that's what I meant when I originally said I think that it might be human nature for that type of thing to happen, especially people of similar interests in love. You know, people who find that they love each other, not in romantic ways, but you know, friends love each
You're
other.
saying it's a nature for us to group up.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I do.
Right.
I agree with that.
Right, and just try to form these small communities based on people of the same interests and that are working towards the same goal and things like that, and that really care about each other.
Mhm.
You know, and to push out the ones that are not for the common good.
We were talking about
that are
this
very
last time.
selfish.
Oh yeah,
We
definitely.
were talking about this last time when we were like, you know, even when we move into a new place, like, or even when you live there or live somewhere for a while, when I move into somewhere, I want to meet the neighbors.
Exactly.
I want to go to his house and be like,
Exactly.
hey, what's going on? I just fucking moved here. Just
Yeah.
like whatever, shake your hand. Like, let's know. Like this. I don't understand this new age concept of like, you know, we move in. Like, I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
I know him because we had to know each other. We parked the cars at the same time or whatever, and we said, hey, whatever. But he could have easily been like, meh, and it would have been acceptable in
Yeah.
today's society or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's the thing too, where it's part of the evil fucking plan.
Sorry, podcasters.
No, it's all good.
Too.
It happens.
But it's like, I think it's part of the evil plan where they're trying to make us. Actually, that was a part of the documentary I watched from Noam Chomsky, where he was saying that like literally it is documented to make people basically only think selfishly. I only care about me and mine, and that's it.
And that's the worst thing you could ever do.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing for humankind, period.
And then,
really
that, like you said, I think that's against nature, and somehow a bunch of people have been bred this way now, to where they really believe, like, you know, my four people and no one else.
Exactly.
And it's, I think, as evolutionarily, I think the reason people stock up against each other, or stock up, you know, with each other, is like, if you've got a whole bunch of people all back to back, you know, people you trust and love, like, you're not as afraid of the predators.
Exactly. Well, you know you can survive. You're going to get food. You're going to get shelter. People are going to take care of each other. You know?
I feel like under civilization, this whole other idea thrives of the me and mine, I'll take care of myself.
They're talking about you. They're in your business. They're spying on you, you know? So I think people feel paranoid and stuff like that.
Oh, dude. I mean,
they are spying on you. But you know.
But it's the government. It's not your neighbors. You know what I mean? Unless your neighbors are the government. So
no, it's not
or recruited by the government.
Or you're in a small town like Pacific Grove, California.
Right.
Nobody is.
People know nothing better. I'm from the South. I fucking know. Oh my God. And growing up around military towns, no offense to the military, I love the military, you know, whatever. But, you know, you got to say that this
Yeah.
But, no, like, military towns are really bad for it because a lot of times the service member, whether they're male or female, goes to work every day. The spouse does not work because they have to be mobile. They have to move around with the military. And a lot of jobs aren't, you know, like, wait, we need you for more than, like, 2 years. You know? So, a lot of it is, you know, a lot of catty-ass people sitting around all day with nothing to do. And so they watch each other, and they talk about each other, and they spread rumors, and they fucking just, you know, and you see it in real small communities a lot, too. Yeah, and I'm sure you guys saw it a lot here, growing up in such a small town.
Oh, military town.
Yeah. And this was a military town back when you guys were kids, too, so
I had a thought while you were saying that. Like, imagine, is that part of the even further plan? To distance the relationship between military and the community?
Oh, they've done a good job of that.
Because there is going to come a time.
Yeah.
And fucking mark my words, and I do respect my brothers and arms.
Right, of course, everybody does.
But, you know, because it does.
They're us. They are us.
Exactly.
They're people.
But I think there is a general push to make them not us, or
machines.
Make them machines, because there is going to come a day when they're going to turn their guns towards us.
Exactly. Well, it's happened all throughout history. It's always happened.
And we've always felt that way. That there's a reason that we have these sort of feelings that Jade Helm is
right.
But my question is, do you think that was a conscious decision? Like, we'll make them move around a bunch. We'll hire them for like 2 years, you know what I'm saying? And then move them like 3 times in a year. Oh, this guy's he's really iffy about it. Moving to Virginia.
Really does break.
I don't know, man.
It breaks them away
Never really
from
thought
the
about
community
that.
very well.
I mean, either. I just
that's fucking good. I never actually
make sure they don't have ties to
that's
anyone.
probably the stoner conspiracy theorist in me, but like
right. No, but that's a good thought. Like, that's why do they do that?
You know?
Why do they move the military around so much? Why don't they just? You're stationed here in Fort Drum, New York. Bam. You're going to be there for 20 fucking years.
You're doing the same job everywhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you're just being moved around. You know. I don't know. You know, that's a good thing. I'm sure military people would have, you know, they'd have an answer for it.
Oh, we had my friend Jimmy on last week, and he's from the Navy. And,
okay.
I love you, Jimmy, but fucking hey, man, you can tell, you know, and oh man, it's a hard topic because I do got friends that I love.
Well, yeah, and my family, my grandfather was a drill sergeant in the Marine Corps, you know.
But I think
stepfather was EOD.
I think, dude, like, if that wasn't part of the plan, it definitely still worked.
Yeah, well,
if it wasn't a plan, it still like is a thing where like you know those guys that have spent a lot of time in the military, they're kind of like not a part of the community ever.
No, they have their own club, like police officers and firefighters and things like that. They have their group.
Well, that was it, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed that. That was another episode of the Violent Sneeze podcast, and we will be back in a couple days with part 2 of that conversation and much more later this month, and continuing on forever and ever and ever and ever.